Hi there, welcome to TV Made For Me channel, a channel dedicated to all sorts of TV shows. Today I would like to talk about the new shows that we are going to see this fall. I know that some of them have already pilots released in the net, but I didn't watch them, and frankly I don't see any point of doing that, because obviously if you see the pilot just so much earlier than the official release date, you just forget everything. So I hate when networks do that. I'll just start with a show that I'm most curious about. This is called 666 Park Avenue. And it's supposed to be a horror show. The plot is very simple. A young couple, Jane and Henry, moves in to a house in New York, and they are supposed to manage basically this building. At first they are very excited, but I believe as the show progresses it's gonna be obvious that the place is so dark and a lot of supernatural things happen there. The stars of the show are Terry O'Quinn, we've seen him in Lost, then also Vanessa Williams from recently finished Desperate Housewives. The key actors are Rachel Taylor, so she was in Charlie's Angels and a little bit in Grey's Anatomy, Transformers also, and Dave Annabelle from Brothers and Sisters. The tagline of the show is New York's most seductive address. So I believe a lot of that show is going to be dedicated to different types of seductions and scenes, and frankly I won't be very much surprised if the whole building turns out to be a purgatory or something. I probably should mention that the building is called The Drake, and as we've seen in the trailer, Jane, one of the characters, in a basement finds an image of a dragon, so I guess these things are somehow connected. David Wilcox is a producer and creator of the show, and he was involved in procedurals like Life on Mars, Fringe, Law and Order, and Dragnet. Other producers are Leslie Morgenstein and Gina Gilorama. They mainly were involved in production of different type of teenage series, sometimes with supernatural theme. So among the shows are Gossip Girl, The Vampire Diaries, Pretty Little Liars, The Secret Circle, The Lion Game as well. So on the one hand, I'm hesitant to say that it's going to be a great show. From watching the trailer, I just can't say that it's going to be that much scary to watch, but obviously it's not a cable channel. It's released on ABC, and I think that ABC is obviously a little bit protective of its audience, so it's going to be something really soft. At the TCA's, Wilcox shared a little bit of how he thinks the show is going to turn out. He said that he couldn't use anything brutal, in a sense that no extreme amounts of blood or anything like that. So it's going to be, as he put it, psychological, which I believe means that there will be lots of this kind of dark rooms and ghost-looking people, and I think that the psychological type of fear is that if you hear this kind of spooky music going in the dark place, and the character is walking in this dark room or something, and you know that something is going to happen, and you just wait for that, and in the meanwhile the character goes like, "Hello, anybody here? Hello?" And then you sense that something is coming, and then finally something just jumps at you. So Wilcox also said that a lot of inspiration he took from Stephen King and Alfred Hitchcock, and he named a couple of horror movies from 80s and 70s. But I believe, and I think it's quite obvious, to be sincere, that this show wouldn't have appeared if not the American Horror Story started last year on FX. So, like, for example, what kind of movies Wilcox said he was inspired by? Rosemary's Baby, and it was heavily used in American Horror Story. Then another thing was The Shining. I believe it's about a house you couldn't get out of, and all type of scary things happen in there. So again, these theme was used in American Horror Story. And one more movie that he named was The Jacob's Ladder, and you can see the ladder in the trailer and in the poster. So I think it's a bit hypocritical not to mention American Horror Story, because it's kind of obvious that it was somewhat popular and that 666 Park Avenue took a lot after the show. I remember that in regards to the Horror Story, many men were disappointed because it was not that scary. Well, apart from the 2, maybe 3 first episodes, that it evolved into this kind of a horror soap for women. And American Horror Story is a very, very female story. It's extremely interesting. It had this kind of a complicated characters. It had the major theme that united all the happenings in the show. So because Wilcox hinted that he wanted to do somewhat the same thing, probably less scary than the Horror Story, I am actually waiting for that to be aired. I want to see how it is going to be done, how it's going to be acted, how the storyline is going to evolve. I should probably mention that the show was based on a novel by Gabriella Pierce. It had the same title. I didn't read this novel. I don't think I am going to. But if anyone actually know what this novel is about, please no spoilers. The pilot was directed by Alex Graves, and he also done pilots for Fringe and Terra Nova, and then also the second episode of Newsroom. Actually, what I think the show is going to be about is that a young couple, like I said, will face all sorts of seductions, and they will have to go through this kind of tests. Maybe, I don't know, maybe because of the Jacob's Ladder, we find out that the couple is dead, for example, and it's just they're laddered to the afterlife. I hope that it's gonna be more complicated than that. I know if the show is gonna be popular, it has to speak to the female audience, because this kind of soft horror is not really speaking to men, and there obviously won't be any action. So yes, we'll just see how it goes. I have hopes for that show. I hope it's not going to be cancelled. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, the next one is The Mob Doctor, which is going to be released already this Monday, and as the title suggests, it's going to be about the doctor which works for the mob. And as you can probably imagine, the place where everything happens is Chicago. And the doctor, Grace Devlin, what a name, is played by Jordana Spira. And I remember her from last season of Dexter. Other stars of the show are William Forsythe, so he was in Broadwalk Empire, for example. And then I was very excited to see in the trailer Michael Rappaport. And I remember him well from Friends, where he played Phoebe's police boyfriend. And obviously he was in Prison Break as well. The tagline of the show is "Be careful who you owe." So I believe that this show was supposed to fill the gaping void we have after House is gone. So we need another cynical cruel doctor, and I think we will see just that in some cases. But I think it's the only thing we borrowed from House. There will be no puzzles, or if you finish it, just, brutality. I actually think it's going to be more like House meets Dexter, plus a little bit of Sopranos in there. So we'll just see how it goes. The trailer wasn't that convincing, but maybe it improves as it goes. So another Doctor show on Fox, but much brighter than The Mob Doctor, is the Mindy Project, which is supposed to be a comedy. It is created by Mindy Kaling, and she also plays the main part, which is a little worrying because, whenever a creator plays almost a copy of herself, it means that she will make the show much more self-centered than the usual writers. But we'll see how it goes. So the story is about a doctor who is trying to pull her life together and get a boyfriend. And the creators just want us to watch that and find out if she does. I don't know if that's going to be funny. I think it's going to resemble a lot other projects, which is The Office, obviously. So if you like Office, you might like this one as well. And it's hard actually to predict what a comedy show is going to be about, but it's just that characters, because of their personality, get to all kinds of trouble and resolve their problems with the help of their sense of humor. We'll see. So Mindy has her career going well, unlike a character from Made in Jersey, Martina Garetti, played by Janet Montgomery, who was also, for example, in A Black Swan. The show's tagline is "Every underdog has her day," so obviously this is going to be about a girl with no fancy education, and she will try to find her place in a big law firm. As show creators say, she's going to use her street smarts. And this series will bring us back to this widely used American dream, when anyone, when trying hard, when passionate, and then is smart, can achieve anything in life. Other stars of the show are Kyle MacLachlan from Desperate Housewives, Sex and the City, and Twin Peaks, and Tony Trucks, also seen in House, and Veronica Mars. The show was created by Dana Calvo, also involved in Studio 60. Interestingly, Janet is from England, and she is going to hide her British accent in there to imitate a Jersey girl. So we're just gonna see how she manages that. I think the show will be cute. So the comedy I'm most skeptical about is called Ben and Kate. It's gonna be on Fox. I have a hard time to relate to the story about brother and sister and how they help each other along the way. I didn't have that kind of relationship with my brother, and I sense a little bit of, incest going underway. The tagline is also pretty stupid. It goes like this: his sister, her daughter, who's raising who? I think they could have come up with something better. So the story is about a sister and a brother, Kate and Ben Fox. They're supposed to have different personalities, so Kate, being a single mother, is more grown up, and Ben is this kind of a dreamer or immature idiot, whatever you prefer. And they're supposed to live together and influence each other in order to help each other, basically. The creators of the show also did last year's New Girl, so you can imagine that it's going to be a little bit over-emotional. The stars of the show are Ned Faxon, he's playing Ben Fox, and then Dakota Johnson as Kate Fox. The light, funny character is Lucy Funch, who's playing a bartender with the name BJ. I'm seriously against any kind of characters called BJ for moral reasons. So I think it's going to be an attempt to have this kind of cute family comedy show. But I suggest that if you're looking for something warm and nice and funny, you should rather watch Up All Night. Anyway, I'm going to give that a try and see if maybe I'm terribly wrong about this. I hope that it's actually better than I think it is. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for part 2.